to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We call this meeting to order.
Good evening and welcome to the June 24th, 2025 regular meeting of Jackson Township Council. Pursuant to the provisions of New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act, the adequate notice of this meeting was properly provided by transmitting the notice of the meeting on January 28th, 2025 for publication. Notice of this meeting of the Township Council has been posted in the corridor of the municipal building and in the office of the municipal clerk. We'll begin with roll call. Councilman Borelli?
Here.
Councilman Bressi?
Here.
Councilman Palmieri?
Present.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Here.
Council President Kuhn?
Here.
We have a quorum. Also present this evening is Business Administrator Mr. Phillips, Township Attorney Mr. McGuckin, and myself, Deputy Clerk Jen Corelli. We'll now hear opening comments from the council.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman, go ahead.
Yeah. I'd like to take a few moments to highlight some of the positive initiatives your council is doing, working on ordinances that are designated to directly improve the quality of life for our residents and ensure greater accountability within our township. First, I'm proud to share that we will be introducing an updated landlord registration ordinance at our July 8th, council meeting. This is something that has been proposed to both Code Enforcement Administration as a way to begin addressing the growing issues of illegal rentals in our community. Under the proposed landlord registration, the fee will be increased from $125 to $225 effective January 2026. Additionally, we've already amended the ordinance to require all landlords to renew their registration annually between January 1st and January 31st. These changes are projected to bring in an additional $300,000 in revenue, which I believe should be placed in the designated subline under a task force in its own department. With these funds, my recommendation would be to assign 2 officers with code enforcement credentials, 1 secretary to handle annual inspections on rental properties full-time. These officers are already licensed to issue certificates of occupancy, which includes verifications of smoke detectors, fire extinguishers, and overall safety compliance. We would divide rental inspections across a 12-month cycle and maintain accurate contact emails for landlords, property managers, and/or tenants. This will legally support access for inspections to allow officers to ensure summonses for any violations they observe. There will also be a provision for hefty fines, suggested at $250 per day for noncompliance or refusal to allow access for inspections. It's time we all put a clear and enforceable system in place to address residents' concerns and protect the quality of life in Jackson. In addition, I am pleased to share with the support of administration, we successfully added the Fire District 2 to our already existing monthly grant strategy calls. This provides our grant writing team with a direct communication to department heads so that we can explore funding opportunities that save our taxpayers' dollars. Since February, we've already been holding monthly grant calls with our township engineer and DPW to pursue infrastructure and parks and recreation grants, and the progress has been promising. Speaking of parks, this year's budget includes an addition of parks manager position under the Department of Public Works. This is an absolutely necessary role. With the recent issues involving quads and motorcycles damaging our newly renovated park, we must do what we need to protect our public property. To that end, we are also installing security cameras at our township parks and the Justice Complex to monitor activity and hold those responsible for damaging township property. It's unfortunate we had to take these steps, but we continue to invest taxpayers' money in these improvements only to see them destroyed. Thank you all. Thank you for the residents for continuing to support and engaging in your local government. Together, we will build a stronger Jackson. Thank you.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes, thank you. This evening, I know we are going to be honoring, oh, no, it's on.
Fine.
It is. Yeah, just want to congratulate the girls on your success and your coaches and your parents as well as the dance school that's here as well. And we got some, as Council President Kuhn was mentioning, there's a lot going on in our parks, in our recreational areas in our town, which is a strong reflection of who we are here in Jackson, and creates a sense of pride among our residents and visitors alike as well. We have a lot of events coming up, including some information I wanted to share with you. Last Thursday, the weather was not cooperating, and hopefully this Thursday it will be. It doesn't look like it will be, but you never know. Hopefully the evening will be clear. And Jake's Rock and Country Band was supposed to be here in Johnson Memorial Park last Thursday. They're going to be here this Thursday, hopefully weather permitting. Hopefully the weather's fine between 6:30 and 8 p.m. and in Johnson Memorial Park. And there will be bands like every other Thursday performing, as well as food trucks in Johnson Park. Also, the farmers market is going to be, it's continuing to be held on Thursdays from 2 to 7 in the Justice Complex. So lots to do, including our Jackson, in their Justice Complex. The Spray Park is open daily and on the weekend as well. So lots to do. Take advantage of the many amenities that are offered and continue to be growing in our parks and recreational areas in our town. Thank you and have a good evening.
Council Vice President Bernstein.
Thank you, Clerk. A couple of quick things. First of all, I had an opportunity in joining with Council President and Mr. Palmieri by the Board of Ed, by the graduation, by memorial. Congratulations to all of our graduates. Wishing them a lot of continued success in all their future endeavors. I also wanted to read a letter that Council received from the county engineers. Dear Mr. Bernstein, this letter is in response to your recent email to this office regarding a traffic signal request in the vicinity of Rover Farms in Jackson Township. Please be advised that a member of our traffic division will be evaluating the situation. Thank you for bringing this matter to our attention. Should you have any further concerns, please do not hesitate to contact Jim and mention the above tracking number with your inquiry. So long overdue. Again, I want to thank Council President, really my colleagues in Council, for continuing to move the Rover Farms Park forward. And hopefully this year we'll actually see something different over there than it's been there in the past. I also just wanted to mention, I'm excited to see resolution. Sorry, just pulling up for a second. The resolution for, I apologize. Pitney Lane here. I received a communication from residents in March of this year. They forwarded me emails from 2023. Just to summarize quickly, in 2023, the email was that the traffic had increased sixfold from 2018. It's a tremendous danger what's going on in the neighborhood over there. And unfortunately, many parts of our town, we appreciate when residents reach out and to stay on top of their government and to try to pressure us to keep the ball rolling. A special thank you to our engineer, Charles Cunliffe, who's here in the crowd tonight. I'm sure we'll have some time to ask him some questions later. Charles has been a great boots on the ground. Last week, Charles, I think about 7:30 in the morning, was out there on a different roadway, checking it out. I know he's been on top of Bethel Church Road, Bartley Road, and some of the other roadways. I had the opportunity this afternoon speaking to Commissioner Sadeghi, and they are eagerly awaiting some of the reports from our T&M associates so they can continue their progress in some of our county roadways. So thank you and have a wonderful night.
I just want to piggyback on that.
Yeah.
I did as well. We work on these things together. We did email the county engineer regarding the new Wawa. I've seen a lot of the complaints. I understand that is a little bit of a problematic area, as well as they were going to close off Leesville Road. They have changed that. They are no longer going to be doing that. They are looking to reroute for the construction on Cedar Swamp, but they will be reevaluating the new Wawa. So just to update you on that.
Councilman Palmieri.
Thank you. I will keep my announcement short this evening because in a few moments, I'm excited that we will be recognizing Central Jersey, New Jersey girls softball team for their divisional championship, as well as recognizing Diamond Dance Academy as our small business highlight. So congratulations to you both. And I would also like to just congratulate all of our high school graduates. Good luck as you enter a new chapter of your lives. So thank you.
Councilman Bressi.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out this evening. I'd like to congratulate the girls softball team with their division championship and the dance studio being on it tonight. Been familiar with a lot of dance studios in town, so that's an honor. And appreciate you coming out tonight. We'll move forward with the meeting. Thank you.
Anybody else? Next item for tonight is an update from Department of Public Works. Mr. Sean Belinsky. Council President, can you?
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. So Zone 1 bulk collection is set to begin on 6:30. We have just finalized Zone 2 and would like to remind all the residents to please follow the guidelines listed on the website in regards to acceptable items. We had over 50 piles of unacceptable items in Zone 2. That means they do not pick them up, they tag them, and code enforcement comes and you do get a violation for it. Construction on Johnson Park, I don't know if anybody's seen it. I've been there a couple times. It is absolutely awesome. There's some pictures up here for you to see. If you haven't been there, there's a zip line. I didn't want somebody taking a picture of me, but it's the weight limit is 250. It's a 100-foot zip line that goes from one side of the park to the other one. The ground is actually like very bouncy and meshy. There's all ages of activities. There's plenty of parks, ADA compliant. I mean, the pictures don't even do it justice. So please get out there, and it should be done mid-July. But there's something to do for everyone, and there's more than enough activities over there. And you also still have the pickleball and all the other activities. We are working with a few local Boy Scouts and Girl Scout troops in the town. One troop is down on Eagle Scout project, repainting the artwork at the Jackson Jungle Playground. Our Girl Scout troop will be planting a butterfly garden in Jackson Drive near the playground. All spots are filled for the Summer Clean Community Cleanup. We are looking forward to the event Sunday, June 29th. If you're aware of any other concerns in regards to litter, please contact DPW and they'll send somebody out there and add the road to the list. We would like to remind everyone to come to the farmers market, which was already mentioned, at the Justice Complex, and the concert series, which Councilman already had said. So you guys are updated on that. Thank you so much. That was from DPW.
Wonderful. Next item tonight is proclamation for the Central New Jersey Girls Softball Spring 2025 Division Champions.
See, it wasn't that long. It was 12 minutes. All right. So tonight is a great honor to recognize and congratulate the incredible 12U Lady Jags softball team. On behalf of the entire council in the township, we are proud of each and every one of you. Your hard work and dedication and teamwork this season has not only led you to success in the field, but also inspired all of us here in the community. You've shown what it means to deserve support one another and represent Jackson with pride. To the players, coaches, and family, thank you for your commitment and for showing us the power of youth sports and building character and community. You've earned this recognition, and we are thrilled to celebrate your accomplishments tonight. Keep reaching for greatness. We'll be cheering you every step of the way. Congratulations. If the coach, when somebody wants to come out and help me give out their certificates, we'll call them by name. Get a line up.
Angelina Edery. Brooklyn Murillo. Ella Eldridge. Jayla Knight. Juliet Hendricks. Juliet Wagner. Callie Dansbury Bordenaro. Leah Madison Charan. Lila Keegan. Mariano Delgado. Tegan Murray. And Layla Ricks. So myself, Brian Keegan.
Congratulations, great job.
Michelle Bordenaro. And last but not least, Patrick Ricks.
Thank you, council, if you want to come down. Parents, if you want to take any pictures, we're going to kind of do rows. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Of course. Ma'am, here. Thank you. Hey guys, you are more than welcome to leave, but I just wanted to let you know, we created a recreation committee, and we have one of your representatives going to be actually appointed to that committee tonight. And that recreation came from not being able to find you guys a field in the town. So we really want to let you know that we did hear you. We are looking at that, and we created a whole to make sure that all of the kids of Jackson have soccer, softball, baseball, field hockey, pickleball, everything that we're doing. That's they're going to get appointed tonight, but it did inspire from you guys. So thank you so much. Madam Deputy Clerk.
Next item is our small business recognition, Diamond Dance Academy. Council President?
Thank you so much. Diamond Dance Academy. Congratulations being named the Small Business of the Month for May 2025. Your dedication to excellence and commitment to the community exemplifies the spirit of entrepreneurship in Jackson Township. We appreciate your your contributions and wish you nothing but continued success. Councilman Palmieri, do you have
Thank
anything
you.
to add?
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, it's my pleasure to recognize Diamond Dance Academy as Jackson Township Council's small business highlight for the month of May. Under the leadership of owner Iris, this studio has inspired countless young dancers and enriched our community through the power of the arts. Her dedication, passion, and commitment to excellence shine through in everything Diamond Dance Academy does. Congratulations to Iris and the entire team on this well-deserved recognition.
Sorry, for compliance reason, we can't have the door closed. Diamond Dance Academy, would you like to come up?
Anything else?
Madam Deputy Clerk?
Wonderful. Next item of business is second reading and public hearing ordinance 2025-22, introduced on June 12th, 2025. Second reading and public hearing of ordinance 2025-22 is calendar year 2025 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriations limit and to establish a cap bank under NJSA 40A:4-4514. At this time, if any member of the public has any comment to make, please address the council at the microphone, state your name and address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once. May I have a motion to open public comment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Seeing no one come forward, I make a motion to close public comment.
Motion.
Okay. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-22?
Motion.
Motion.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Great, motion approved. Next item of business is second reading of public hearing ordinance 2025-23, introduced on June 12th, 2025. Second reading and public hearing of ordinance 2025-23 is amending and supplementing Chapter 380 of the Township Code of the Township of Jackson entitled Taxicabs, Limousines, and Jitneys as to amend 380-33 entitled Licenses. May I have a motion to open public comment?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wonderful.
Seeing no one come forward, I make a motion to close public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful, motion approved. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-23?
Motion. Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Great, motion adopted. Next item of business is the payment and authorization of bills and claims. I'd like to note the following abstentions. Abstentions include Councilman Borelli, AET01, EYE01, NJD04, and NJS04. Council President Kuhn, RCS02. Are there any questions or comments from council?
No, ma'am.
No. May I have a motion to approve the bills and claims with the abstentions noted?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
Abstain on those vendor numbers you had just mentioned, and yes to the rest on there for bills and claims.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri?
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein?
Yes.
Council President Kuhn?
Yes.
Council President, any comments for the consent agenda?
Yes. Madam Deputy Clerk, please remove resolution numbers 218, 220, 221, 228, 232-2025 from the consent agenda for discussion by council from the consent agenda. At this time, I would like to ask our township engineer, Mr. Charles Cunliffe, to come up, and council will be asking him a couple questions. This is just council to the engineer regarding some of the resolutions that are on the agenda. As we have so many for the engineer, we thought we'd bring them in. So we appreciate your time.
Not a problem. I'm here at your pleasure. So any questions that you have, I can give you a little.
So the first question is going to be, the big one is Pitney Lane.
Yep.
So I understand we have two resolutions on here, one for striping and one for calming and, correct?
Yeah, so there's two resolutions on here. One is for actual to approve capital improvements for Pitney Lane. The other one is to approve professional services. So just to give the governing body a backdrop, this Pitney Lane is something that's been on police traffic safety units and engineering's radar since about 2018. With a lot of the traffic and congestion issues going on around South Cooks Bridge, North Hope Chapel, East and West Veterans, a lot of residents or pass-through traffic are using that as a cut-through. Going back to 2018, I think the average daily traffic volume for Pitney Lane was on the order of 300, 315. As of 2022, that skyrocketed almost sixfold to 1,800 trips a day. PD did some supplemental counts in 2024, February 2024, so over a year ago. They only did it in one direction of traffic, but it was 1,400 trips a day. Things aren't always a perfect split, but that's around 2,800 trips a day. With that, they also do speed study to see how fast vehicles are traveling through there. Consistently, the 85th percentile speed has been increasing through the corridor. The last measurements in 2024, the 85th percentile speed was 39 miles per hour. So roughly 15% of that 1,800 or 2,800 trips a day is traveling at 39 miles per hour or higher. And just to clarify, the posted regulatory speed limit for that road is 25 miles an hour. So there's volumes and there's also the speeding issue. So the
And
capital.
this did come from, I just want to make sure that we didn't just go and come out of the day. And this came from our traffic safety and our police department for
Certainly
safety
not.
concerns.
Certainly not. And this is, like I said, this has been tracked for quite a while now, so almost 7 years at this point. And just to give it some further backdrop, so obviously things have been changing over the last couple of years and into the future. The school board, I think, is consolidating the high school over to Jackson Liberty there. So these numbers could conceivably increase considerably. There's also some development in that area that has been approved recently too that could also increase those trips. So what we're seeing is already a year old with the traffic volume and potentially into the future could be significantly higher. So
Just real quick, I just want to make sure we get, is it going to stop? Because what I see is I see up to the stop sign. Is there going to be a no parking? Is that in the future? Or is that we not there yet? Because I know it's going to come ultimately with the council, but is that in the engineer? Does the engineer look like that's going to be a recommendation in the future? I believe I heard from Danielle Court to South Cooks Bridge.
Yeah, so in the project that was bid, we took bids about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
It was structured with a base bid and then 2 alternate bids. The base bid had restricting parking to one side of the roadway from, I want to say, 300 feet west of Daniel Court up to South Cooks Bridge. Daniel Court's a loop, so it's the north part of Daniel Court. And then the balance thereafter is striping improvements, installing 25-mile-an-hour pavement striping, 25-mile-an-hour regulatory signage throughout the corridor, radar enforced signage underneath that, just to hopefully let the public know that there is an enforcement presence there. And then, striping and the curb and such in accordance with Title 39 to restrict parking at the intersections. There was 2 alternate bids. Alternate bid A included for speed radar signs. So those are the actual ones that display the speed as a vehicle is traveling to let you know if you're traveling at a high rate of speed. Those can be effective in the short term, but they still do rely on an enforcement presence. Once they're put out there, if PD are not out there, they can't be everywhere at once. But if there isn't a continual enforcement presence, people can tend to ignore those. There was an alternate bid B, which also included speed tables. Speed tables are the common term for speed humps nowadays. Our recommendation based on the pricing that came back in was to award the base bid, which was the baseline striping and signage improvements, and then ultimate bid B, which was the speed tables.
Okay. Yes, please.
2 questions. First of all, the time frame. Just because there's so many kids out there, I actually realized I go out to probably drive down Pitney as a cut through 3 times a day. Whenever time I come to town hall, that's why I leave my office in Lakewood. What would you recommend? What would you say is if this passes tonight? What's the time frame?
So public contract law, if the governing body were to award the contract, we would send out a notice of award tomorrow. Contractors typically have 10 to 15 days to respond to submit all their bonds and things like that. We'd look to have a pre-construction meeting, and I think the contract time specified for this is 45 days. Realistically, the actual work is going to take on the order of 3 to 4 days between the striping and the signage and the speed tables. But there's weather, traffic, you try to coordinate around the holidays and things like that. So the work will happen relatively quickly. There might be some minor disruption for the speed tables where they'll have to reroute traffic through Daniel Court just for the day or 2 that they're doing those installations. But it's a temporary inconvenience for hopefully a permanent improvement.
Will this be done before school reopens in September?
So we're now at June 20th. We're 60 days till Labor Day. So I would say certainly that's more than achievable, especially with the contract time that's specified.
I mean, we would need with this. We would
no,
need it to
no.
be.
So-
They're well aware of the time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
So-
changes in
so
that
and-
area.
And as Mr. McGuckin will tell you, any local public contracts law, you typically stipulate liquidated damages if a contractor doesn't perform within an allotted time frame. So
Okay.
we would make sure we do our part to get things out the door so that way the contract time starts and they'd have to be done before the end of the summer.
Yeah, I think
school
that's why
starts.
we kind of put this as quick as possible because we knew the importance with
Now-
the safety concerns.
Now-
I think you would agree,
Yeah.
Councilman?
100%. If I could just, I know it's not this particular, but I'm a big believer, once we're looking at a road, let's look at the entirety of the road. I received 2 communications, which I didn't get a chance to forward it to you yet, about light outings in that area. There's definitely a lot of pedestrian traffic in the area, a lot of motor vehicles. I guess if something, I know it's your office, we'll be in touch after the council meeting, but
Yeah,
I think it's
so-
important to put out
So
there.
yeah, if there's any resident inquiries or complaints about outlights, ultimately that falls under JCP&L, but we try to help facilitate those requests with JCP&L. Once we get the ticket out there, unfortunately, it's under it's under their hands. So
Okay, move on to the next one.
I want to kind of go into, one, I want to say thank you for working with our clerk's office and ourselves. It was amazing. I have to read into the record of resolution 229-2025. No, wait, not that one, sorry. I'm sorry, 233-2025, which is the change order for the senior center. I know I was on the email that was with the administrator. You know, our seniors they're getting antsy over there and we have a project that's going on. I just wanted to thank you that you did educate us, and this is the best things that it makes it easier to get these change orders on, that the funding was coming from PG money that we have and we have to spend. I don't know if you just want to give a brief of, excuse me, the additional work, but also kudos to yourself for getting that done so quickly and seeing that and making us spend our money so that we can keep getting the grant money. This is grant money. This is not taxpayers' money. This is grant money from the calls that we sit on together
Yeah.
every month. So please.
So yeah, just to add to that, so the contractor for the project is Magic Touch Construction. I think their award was around $204,000. That included a work allowance for miscellaneous items. There's 2 change orders that are not change orders. They're being handled under miscellaneous work allowance. Additional epoxy coating on some of the closets in the lobby. There were some of the structurals with the doorway that were not anticipated to be load bearing that need to be replaced. Once you start doing demolition, you find things, especially in public buildings, that you necessarily would expect. And then as far as in the kitchen area, the things that are on the change order was replacement of the drop ceiling panels and structure, and then upgrading the lighting. And there was one more that I'm missing and it slipped in my mind.
That's
But-
okay.
But what I can tell you is the project with all these additions are fully funded by CDBG.
amazing.
It's not coming out of the general fund. It's all money that's been appropriated already to Jackson Township. And at the pre-construction meeting, a lot of this was discussed with the representative from the county, and they were on board with it, and they were encouraging us to spend that money.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. The next one is, and thank you, our seniors deserve it. So they deserve they have an amazing center, but it a little bit is always great. So again, kudos to grant money. We have resolution 228, which is another grant that was awarded for Manhattan Street Improvement Project. I understand if you want to just give us a little bit of a background about that.
Yeah, so that's it's not a grant award yet, knock
It's-
on wood. So it's a grant application to DOT, local aid. Every year, every municipality has the ability to submit up to 2 applications to seek funding for roadway preservation, sidewalk improvements, the like. That one is actually being prepared by the Township's grant consultant Colliers.
Yes.
We will also be preparing an additional grant application. If you ask for more, you ask for more grants,
money.
you have a potential to get more money. So ours will be roadway preservation, potentially Brewers Bridge, Lakehurst Road, or
Did you add Anderson? Did I see that? There was Bethel Church, and I know we switched to, just because I'm getting a lot of questions on that, the area over there. I didn't know if that was going to be
so
happening.
Anderson Road was just paved within the last 45 days.
Oh,
and
okay.
restriped. Yes.
We're good.
That one, we should be closing out that grant with the contractor Earl Asphalt within the next 30 days or less, I would say.
Okay, so the last one, which we have, I think some members of the Muse here are from Westlake, and the Muse and the sidewalk and the extensions into Roberts Estates and Muirford, I always say that road wrong, and Tilford. I'm going to put these 2 resolutions, yeah, thank you, together, but can you just let us know what you're going on there and what to ultimately, again, more sidewalks and more safety, if you could
Yeah.
just explain that?
Correct. So I think there's 2 resolutions on there.
Yes.
One has to do with the actual capital bid and the other one has to do with professional services. I think we did a proposal last July, which only included the connector road portion. So converting the existing fire access from the Muse to Robbins Estates to an actual and fully improved cartway width for vehicular traffic. I think the township then expressed a desire to install sidewalks from the Muse along Triffle Road to the northern terminus, or sorry, I think that's the northern terminus,
Yeah.
Goldwater Avenue. That one adds additional service to our affordable residents in the town, but it also provides connectivity. There is sidewalk that runs north-south, I believe, on Laurelton all the way up to Holman Elementary. So we're now just adding more connectivity in that development, serving that, our affordable residents and providing additional
Safety for
pedestrian
kids.
safety to
Yeah.
kids to the school. So it's all linkages. So, and our effort is just associated with design to put the sidewalks out to bid, but then also construction inspection, because someone needs to be out there making sure that they're pouring the sidewalk, using the right materials, and the township's getting what it's paid for, essentially.
Thank you, sir. Is any council members
So-
have any questions? Absolutely.
If I can go back to resolution 2025-219 regarding the Pitney Lane traffic calming improvements. Can you, just for the public, I don't know if Councilman Bernstein mentioned, is it the entirety of Pitney?
No.
It's not.
So Danielle Court is a loop, right? So the northern end of Danielle Court, approximately 300 feet to the south of there, up to Cooks Bridge Road, South Cooks Bridge Road. That will be striped to have parking only on one side of the road, and there will be a double yellow center line. So there'll still be two-way traffic. It's just going to choke down the travel lane. That has a traffic calming effect. Anytime you stripe the yellow center line and you make things a little bit tighter, people tend to drive a little bit slower. It also puts I don't want to get in too much into the weeds on it, but the standards for roadways, especially for residential roadways, probably have changed since this development was first built. If it were built under today's standards, the carway width would be wider to facilitate parking on both sides of the road. It's a little bit substandard, especially as the volume is increasing. So this serves to try to, mitigate that. Could it be extended all the way to the southern end to west or east Veterans Highway? Yes, but anytime you're taking away on-street parking, we try to be as least impactful to residents as we can. That northern end, there's a little bit more density with the residential housing. You do have the proximity to North Hope Chapel, Brewers Bridge. There's just a lot of coming and going there. So I think it's concentrated there because that's where it's going to be most impactful.
Thank you.
Council
Thank you,
President, if
sir.
I could just thank Mr. Conliffe. I know you had another commitment tonight. You managed to rearrange it, and thank you, Mr. Phillips, for approving it so fast. So
Yes,
we
thank
can
you.
have you here. Thank you.
Not a problem. I'm always here to serve.
Thank you, sir. I think that's it.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming. We
Absolutely.
really do.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, I would like to, I will have to put it back on the consent agenda, no?
Yeah.
No?
Yes.
Yeah, I have to put them back on the. What am I doing? It's only been, I would like to add resolutions 218, 220, 221, 228, 232-2025 back to the consent agenda. With that being said, I would like for council's discussion, I would like to remove resolution 234-2025 from the consent agenda. And I'd like to have an open conversation with the council. And I'm also going to make a motion at this time. So this is in regards to authorizing the tax collector to prepare and mail estimated tax bills in accordance with PI 1994C.72. I do have an email from the CFO. There was a little bit of confusion. The reason why estimated tax bills were not going out is because they were being told by the state that you would get the same rate as last year, and with all of our assessed values, with them being double and quadruple. So the average person that got a quarterly tax bill of $2,400 was going to be looking at $8,700. So after some due diligence by our interim CFO and our CFO, it had turned out that they were getting false information from the state. So therefore, at this time, and also, if you notice, the budget was removed from the council meeting. So at this time, I would like a motion to request for review and recommendation of the Township of Jackson for the proposed 2025 municipal budget to be sent to the state of New Jersey and have the state come in on behalf of the Township Council of the Township of Jackson. We respectfully request that the Division of Local Government Services conduct a review of the township proposed municipal budget for the year of 2025 and provide any recommendations or guidance deemed appropriate. I would like a motion.
Motion?
Second.
Councilman Borelli?
I'm going to vote no on that. I don't see why we're not voting on the budget tonight. I think it's been long overdue that we do and get operations moving and going for the next fiscal year for this township.
Councilman Bressi?
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri,
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein,
Yes.
and Council President Kuhn.
I would like to just add a little bit as to why the budget. There's certain things that we need to look through when we need to do our job as council. We've been having multiple meetings and we can't come to a meeting of the mind, so therefore I do believe that the state could come in. I am going to vote yes, and at this time, I'm going to sign the letter that I'm going to give to our Madam Deputy Clerk, or if it should go to the Township Attorney, and I'd like it sent to the state, to have the state come in and look at our budget.
You can go to the clerk's office.
Okay.
They're glad to look at it.
I'll sign it on the record.
Sure. Motion approved.
Thank you. Go ahead. We're going to add, I guess this will be considered voted on, right? Resolution, because we all voted because there was a motion to sign it. So this would stay off the consent agenda, and I'm not going to put it back on. And now if we could vote on the consent agenda.
May I have a motion?
Is there anything, I would like to open it up to the public. Is there any resolutions that you would want to be heard by us separately that is on the agenda that we have not removed yet?
Seeing no one come forward?
Thank
Motion
you.
closed.
Wonderful. May I have a motion to authorize the consent agenda resolutions 215 through 233, 2025?
Motion?
Second?
Councilman Borelli,
I'm going to vote no on Resolution 2025-219, yes to the rest on there.
219, okay. Councilman Bressi,
Yes.
Councilman Palmieri,
Yes.
Council Vice President Bernstein,
Yes.
and Council President Kuhn.
Yes, I have one more resolution, 229-2025, which is the appointment members to Recreation Advisory Board pursuant to our ordinance that we did in recreation. We took recreation and put it into DPW. I would like to congratulate the following. Sean Bolinsky, chairperson of DPW. He would be the department head and township employee. Jeffrey Hemba, he would be co-chairperson. William Materia, he would be a member. Kerry Ricks, a member. Edward Rogers, a member. Hope Drew, a member. Courtney Traeger, a member. And Council President Jennifer Kuhn as recreation liaison. These members of the community, what they would do is they are different in speaking with them in their applications. They will be covering different things such as softball, fields, pickleball. We'll all be get together and look at, we've identified about 7 fields that we're looking to use open space money and clean them up and get our kids able to have more fields that they can use. So that's what the committee is about. And I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you. Our township engineer will also probably be in a couple of those meetings, but thank you so much.
Council President, if I could just
Yeah.
add one thing. I just want to take a moment and thank our new BA. I know how many hours we've engaged in conversations, myself, Council President, and some of my colleagues with you with regard to the budget. And I'm pretty confident with the state's help, we will come to a resolution in the very immediate future. So thank you for continuously during hours, after hours, making the phone calls and trying your best to figure things out. So we appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Wonderful. At this time, if any members of the public have any comments to make, please address the council at the microphone. State your name, address clearly for the record. You will have 5 minutes and may only speak once. May I have a motion to open public comment?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful. All righty.
Evening, everyone. Donnie Edelman, Willow Point Drive, Jackson. A couple of things, let's get out of the way. Mr. Phillips, I did receive your email. Unfortunately, being traveling and being in the hospital, I haven't had a chance to reach back out. But thank you for responding to me as quickly as you did. That's impressive. I guess I had a few things to say, but I was kind of blown away because last time I was here, I asked a few questions. You told me you'd get back to me. Here it is 2 weeks later. I haven't heard one answer. And one of the big concerns I had was about our community block development grant money. And it seems like the community development money, rather than going to something that's truly useful for all residents of Jackson, which is fixing the dog park, is going yet again to the senior center. Unless I am wrong. I mean,
That's been in the works for a very long time. This was just a change order. So when they opened.
So this is this for 2025 CB, whatever money?
No,
Okay.
no, 2024.
Then that makes a huge difference.
Okay, thank you.
Any update on what's going on with the 2025 that's grant money?
I believe it's going to be on the next agenda, July 8th.
So the application has been submitted. We haven't heard back from the county yet.
Okay.
Usually typically, the grants are submitted in April and they can take the county anywhere from 3 to 6 months. Last year, I think we did get our formula amount that they were getting money until the fall, and I don't think we actually got the money until spring of this year.
Okay,
Gotta
thank you.
love the way the government processes works. Couple of other things. I did send you, President Kuhn, email a couple of weeks ago in regards to the new play center or the new playground over
Yeah.
at the place.
I walked DPW with it and they did
And
confirm it's safe.
I just don't know if anything's being done with that. All right, because I heard the comment in the car on the way over here about, the zip line and everything like
Yeah.
that. But it's a little concerning that the whole point of this park was to be all inclusive. Now, not only did I see that one, particular danger zone,
Mhm.
it's a little disconcerting that you have a material on the ground that is not really wheelchair friendly, number one. And somebody spent all this money, whether the county, the federal government, whoever it is that gave us that grant money, and no one thought to put in a swing that's compatible with a wheelchair. All right, they do have disabled friendly swings, but they do make special swings specifically that you basically load your kid in your wheelchair, or even you in your wheelchair onto, and somehow it swings.
I'll make a note of that and speak with Recreation about that. Now that we have this new committee, that was something that would go in front of the Recreation Committee. We just appointed them tonight, so as of the next time when we do have a meeting, I will definitely bring that up.
Okay, now I have another question, and hopefully this is maybe something you just point me in the right direction.
Okay.
I'm trying to get some fundraising and some work done. So I'd like to add a monument at the park over on Commodore and Jackson Mills, where where the Veterans Day, all that stuff is done for military dogs, police canines, and really military dogs and all the other critters that they've used as mascots throughout the years. I've called the recreation department, and the poor girl there, she's trying to get answers, but I don't think anybody's giving her the answers that she needs.
She's, okay, so that department was moved to DPW, so that would be Mr. Belinsky you would call now. You would not call Kate. I know you're talking about Miss Wolf. If you
Yeah.
want to email me and CC Mr. Belinsky, or just email me and I'll forward it to him. I think that's an amazing idea. I think that's great, and I'd be more than happy to, promote it and do it. I think
mean,
it's
look,
amazing.
It's something that's close to my heart. And, I was trying to do a small awareness campaign against homeless vets. I wasn't trying to take any money, but people are literally throwing cash at me on Saturday. So if I could do that without any effort, I'm sure raising whatever it would be to
Absolutely.
get a monument. I mean, look, I'm not talking about, putting a 20-foot
We have
granite
veterans. We have
dog.
veterans on the day, so we definitely support
I
that.
understand. Unfortunately, the numbers that at the park, there's that bulletin board. There's the information sheet that's in there for your it just needs to be updated as far as the emails and the phone numbers, because
Okay.
there's just no way to reach out.
We'll get that done.
And then I guess it's really just the answers. I mean, look, Mr. Phillips, I had some questions. He says he's going to meet with me and we're going to get this stuff taken care of. So that's good. The grant money, it's not for this year. I guess the only other question I have, since we do have our engineer here, what, if any, is your responsibility or the town's responsibility to liaise with the county on county road projects in our town? Because I found a project that's
I'm going to have that. You email me and I'll CC you and we'll get it. Let's get it in writing. That way there's no miscommunication.
all right.
And thank you, sir. I appreciate you coming.
Hi, Moshe Browdy, 29 Pitney Lane.
Hi, sir.
First, I want to start thanking everybody here for their dedication to the town. As an avid runner, I love running through town. It's absolutely beautiful. The project in Johnson Memorial Park, the new playground, is phenomenal. Love seeing the progress, love seeing everything that's going on in town. I'm here thanking you for the council's hard work on getting Pitney Lane, some improvements to Pitney Lane. As a EMT first responder, I've seen firsthand the dangers of the speeding that happens on Pitney. Approximately a year ago, we've had a pedestrian struck on Pitney Lane, hit some fencing. I think it was 1 or 2 kids were hit. And it's important that these traffic calming implementations are being done. I know Councilman Bernstein and Council President Kuhn, you've been working hard on this, and my assumption is the rest of the council has been involved as well. So whatever we can do to continue improving the safety of the community of Pitney Lane, Danielle, and the surrounding neighborhoods would definitely be much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Seeing no one, Carlos. Oh,
Janice Solero, Deer Creek Court. In reference to Pitney, I don't live over there, but there's a lot of noise in the township of Jackson, which many people have pointed out due to one particular home, 45 Pitney. I don't know if they run a business out of there, or is it a religious thing going on there? I'm wondering, that is a lot of the traffic, with the addition that was added onto the house, what have you, et cetera, et cetera. There's been many residents, I myself, I have done things to my home. I have gone through the township, everything's legit. I got letters, I'm closed out. Why aren't these laws applying to every resident in Jackson? Most people put an addition on their house because their family's extended, not to have 50 people at your house consistently. We all have parties, everybody has them, I have them. And this, I'm not anti-Semitic. I have Jews in my family. My grandparents are survivors of Hitler, so I don't want to hear that crap anymore either. But there seems to be certain leniencies that go on in this town for certain people. That's my first question. And as far as the grant money, isn't grant money, correct me if I'm wrong, state money from the state or the feds?
It's all different applications that we put in that comes from all different resources pertaining to projects.
Because if
that
it's
needed-
from the state or feds, it's our tax dollars, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lawyer would be able to define that better.
Sure, it's federal or state tax money as opposed to local. Instead of local taxpayer money, it's state or federal, which Jackson Township receives back substantially less than other municipalities receive from state and federal funding. So when we get a grant, that's
We
paid
were
for
cut
by
our
the state
school
or federal,
funding now.
We're still in the hole, but we're getting closer, which is a benefit to the township.
And I forgot to bring up at the last meeting, I really wanted to know what is going on with all these warehouses. Most of them are empty. What are they going to be used for?
That wouldn't be this board.
It wouldn't be this board.
It would not be this board.
Who would have the answers to that? Zoning?
Zoning officer, Jeff Papora, the zoning officer. If you email him, he'll be able to answer you that.
Okay, so getting back to Pitney, thank the Lord I don't live over that way and have to deal with it, but I really feel I have friends that do, and it's absolutely insane. And from what I hear from residents that live over there, a lot of it is due to one particular huge home. So I guess that's the elephant in the room nobody wants to tackle. So if I were to open my detached garage and have
That would be building, that's under administration, that's building.
I would have
and
to
code.
apply for some type of,
Yes,
correct?
yes. We're council, we're legislation, we don't.
So that would be zoning and building again?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. And there's also a website, SDL, that you can go on and you can put in any address in the town. You can see if they have permits. You can see if they're registered as landlords. You can see all of that. It's accessible to anybody. We're actually going to do a whole little thing on it at the next council meeting or the council meeting after to let residents know that they can check anything they want pertaining to, it's all public knowledge. So you don't have to send an Oprah. You can just go on this app. It's on your phone. I have it on mine.
Okay.
And you can put in any address and you can look and you can say, I know there's residents that call me and they're in an uproar. There was one in Oakley Hill when two houses got put together. Our township,
yeah,
our township
actually-
approved it.
I saw
the
that.
person calls me, she's screaming and yelling, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I go on SDL, I go, it's all permitted. That has
That's
nothing to do with
crazy.
council. That has to do
I
with your.
saw it. I actually have a picture of it.
100% permitted. They took the house from their neighbor and they brought it down. I actually spoke with the BA about this. I showed him a picture of it. I think the first or second day he was in the town. I said they literally took two houses and put them together, and it's approved by
That's
code.
insane.
So,
I went through
approved by
like 12
building.
closings on a deck. Like I almost threw the guy off my husband had to
it's-
come out and retrieve
There's a
me.
lot of things. It has nothing to, we get a lot of the heat, but it has nothing to do with us. We're ordinances and resolutions.
All right. So I guess we should all have a meeting with zoning then.
I think so. I'll be there.
It's insane.
if administration will allow
I mean,
council.
things need to be fair for everybody. You know,
Yes.
we're all, and a lot of us.
They're
that-
great questions.
You
They're
see
just
the
not-
same faces over and over again that speak for several residents because they're afraid,
Thank you, ma'am.
you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And email me. I'll get you that SDL information.
Hello, Chris Pollock, Jackson, New Jersey. This is a statement. If you want to respond, I kindly ask that you wait till I'm finished. I'm a father, a business owner, and a resident who is deeply invested in this town. And like so many other residents, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated by the direction we're heading in, by politicians who serve special interest instead of the people, by a declining quality of life. We watched our schools get shut down. I had to look my son in the eyes and tell him his school was closed and he's not going back. I had to console him as he broke down in tears. We're watching our town change, and it's not for the better. This is not the future that any of our families want. And this council sits up here pretending like your hands are tied, like you're helpless. You ignore the problems until residents make enough noise to embarrass you into action, like with the LLCs and illegal rentals. LLCs and corporate investors are buying up single-family homes and turning many of them into illegal rentals, packing unrelated families under one roof. And that takes away from our resources, and that hurts our infrastructure. And what do? You enable it. You cut the fines, you defunded code enforcement, and you attacked the very department meant to protect us. And when you're finally forced to address it, you said, there's nothing we can do, there's a law about it. You guys are liars. You could have acted, you should have acted. You didn't have the spine, or worse yet, you didn't want to upset the special interest who put you here. We have a council president who runs a real estate business and openly works for institutional investors and hedge funds. She profits off the same system that's buying up homes in bulk and turning our neighborhoods into rental zones. We have a council vice president whose wife runs a political action committee with the wife of a major developer, a PAC that's raised over $250,000 from developers, real estate investors, contractors, and people seeking township approvals and favors. This council isn't just ignoring the problems. They're financially entangled in them. You pretend there's nothing you can do, but there's plenty things you can do. Owner occupancy requirements. You can do annual inspections, not every 3 years. You can raise the fees so people profiting off this town can pay back into it. All right. You can also cap the number of homes corporations can own, but you're not doing any of these things. They're all legal, they're all enforceable, and they're all in other towns. You could have passed them, but you didn't. Not because you couldn't, because you will not. The people of Jackson are paying attention. They will remember exactly who fought for them and who didn't. Do your job or step aside.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to respond. I wish you would have came earlier because you would have heard that we are working on that. I've been working on landlord registration for over 1.5 years. It's documented. We've all been working. It's not that easy. You have code enforcement. I'm sorry, sir. If you could just wait till I'm done. Thank you. Thank you, sir. If you could, I understand. So also in regards to your accusations about LLCs, we are trying. So we sent to code enforcement, I sent, as well as Councilman Palmieri, 41 properties, right? That's over a week that they had. I pulled their tracking. They have not one property, Sir, I'm not here for a show and pony. I'm here to answer you. The time is removed. You left the dais. I'm just trying to say that your information is not accurate. If you want to have a conversation and know what you're talking about, I'm more than happy to have a conversation. But you just come up and you talk about accusations. You're not giving facts. This is legislation. We did this in our interview when you put in your application to be on the council seat. I respect it, but you're just not accurate. And I'd be more than happy to answer you and have a conversation. But it doesn't make sense. You talk about hedge funds and this and that. I have a real estate license. Do you know how many previous mayors had real estate license, council members, zoning board members, your zoning department, your building department, all your department heads all have broker's license. The fact that I'm educated in real estate does not make me wrong. It makes me more educated. That we can go and we can see when code enforcement officers receive 41 properties and they go in a week and there's not one property they went to. But why are we the problem? Why are we the problem? We're not. We're looking into it. You want to talk about all the other information. It's inaccurate. So I thank you respectfully, sir, if you want to come up.
David Visconti, Whitesville Road, Jackson, New Jersey. Lived there for 42 years. Speaking as a private resident and not as an employee code enforcement. Ms. Kuhn, just about every council meeting, you go on your tirade about the deficiencies of code enforcement. That list that you're waving in the air has been, it's being looked into for 2 weeks now. You're either misinformed or lying that nothing is being done about it. The other thing about that list is that most of that list, now I'm not intimately familiar with it because I'm not handling it, was on Spanish TikTok, which code enforcement does not have access to. We don't have access to TikTok or any of the other Facebook, any other social media as to use as a form of monitoring. It's not there. So you're waving this list that is now being looked into, but we did not have access to the information prior to 2 weeks ago. Now, what I want to ask about is the second changing of the landlord registration and rental CCOs that you're implementing.
Sir, it hasn't been introduced yet, so I would wait till the next meeting.
I understand that. Your proposed change, the second one in 2 years, okay? Now, if my math is correct, did you say, maybe you want to answer it after, I believe you said that 2 officers were going to be assigned full-time to do these yearly rental inspections. Now, here's the math, okay? As of April, we had 9 officers assigned to the office, not including the supervisor or the 2 clerks. In May, one of the officers quit. He didn't want to deal with it anymore. That leaves 8. Currently, we have 7 working because one is out on a medical issue. That leaves 7. Your Christmas wish a few weeks ago, you indicated you wanted to decimate the ranks of code enforcement by 4 officers. Okay? We currently have 8. That would leave, excuse me one second. That would leave 7 officers. We lost the 1 officer, so you want 3 more gone. Your plan is to have 2 officers assigned to these rental inspections. That would leave 2 officers to do everything else that the code enforcement. No. What is my
Because
math wrong?
the information is the how inaccurate you are is mind-boggling. So
That
one,
makes 2 of us.
you're part-time, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so the emails that you're referring to are not between me and you. You're not a department head, correct? Are you a department head?
No.
Okay, so it's between me and the department head. The department head gave me 2 code officers that were looking into it, okay? As you had said, they're looking into it, right?
Yes.
We supplied them, residents supplied them with the information pertaining to the quality of life in their neighborhoods and asked to look into it. And you're telling me for a 40-hour work week or an 80-hour work week, there's not 1 property that's logged into our system that they looked into, and that's not a problem for you? I'm sorry. Yes, we do disagree. In regards to the landlord registration, it hasn't been introduced. The council just got it as a draft. And you know what, sir? They absolutely would not be part of your department because you don't work. So I would not take people from your department and put them into a task team for people that need to go and check on a list of 41 properties that can't check on them in almost 2 weeks. So
Your
no.
problem with code
You're
enforcement is
wrong.
personal.
Who?
Okay? Your problem with code
Sir.
enforcement is a personal animosity.
Thank you, sir. Is there
This
anything
is
else?
because of all the enforcement issues that have been taking place regarding you.
Sir, you sent me
Your
to court and you
behavior-
lost.
your
You
behavior
stood there
is
and
very
sent me to court and they threw us out because they said, I apologize that you're here. It's an inconvenient. Okay. So I would like you to not bring up legal matters that because I would expose that you brought me to court for no reason. It got thrown out of court. Did it or did it not? Because you were found that you were just antagonizing and
It was
literally
dismissed
intimidating me.
because the fix was in.
Oh God.
That's
Thank you,
why.
sir. Have a
Council
great night.
President,
You
can I
too.
just-
Absolutely.
Can I respond? So, I'm sorry.
Okay, Council
Miss-
President,
Miss-
Council
Council
President,
President,
Council
can I
President.
respond?
Yes, sir.
Can I respond?
Absolutely.
Great. So I guess, sorry, was he talking to me?
No, he said code
Oh,
enforcement was
oh,
a damn
okay, I'm
joke.
sorry. Just to, I guess, touch on a few things that Mr. Visconti said. I know he said he's speaking on behalf of himself as a personal resident, even though he did allude to some intimate knowledge of code enforcement, which is kind of a gray area. I guess we're all looking for some updates. I know code enforcement is researching these 41 addresses. Updates from code would be nice to council since we brought this to code's attention. It would be courteous if we could receive updates that it is being worked on. And then one thing I just want to put out there is, and maybe you were, I don't believe you were on this email, but I believe your supervisor was, our assistant business administrator, Ms. Novak, did email because one of the things that was brought up was code can't go onto these websites because we do not have access. Well, Ms. Novak said that if you request access to specific websites for investigations, it would be granted to you through IT. So what you said was that you don't have access. It's the truth. But if you request it, you will have access. So that is incorrect. If you request access to do your investigation, Ms. Novak, in an email that we have, said you will be approved. So you can research it through a website if you request it. So some of that information you provided is incorrect.
Thank you, Councilman.
Turn this on. Carlos Martins, Jackson, New Jersey. I thought appropriate to come up now because maybe lower the temperature a little bit. It's hot enough outside. We don't need it in here. So, number one, in some of the last meetings, some people, residents came up here and spoke badly about animal control. So I'm here to actually say something nice about them. One of my dogs gets out all the time. He's that's his nature. He feels he's got to patrol in the morning, patrol the neighborhood, make sure everybody's okay. Then he comes back in. So obviously not all neighbors know my dog, although they're getting to know him by now. But animal control is being called all the time. And I know it's annoying to them. But they've been wonderful. I understand that there's one person maybe a little rough around the edges. But the bottom line is he's doing his job. Right? If he gets called and there's a dog loose, he has to come and take care of it, right? And that's what he does. And then there's Robin. I'll point out Robin, Al, who are great. They'll call me, and we'll take care of it. And unfortunately, it's been happening a lot lately, so it's happening all the time. And it's very frustrating for them. I get it. Bottom line is, if animal control is at your door, they got better things to do than to be annoying you. If they're at your door, it's because you're doing something wrong. So anyway, leave animal control alone. They're trying to do their job. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, I have a riddle for Mr. Bernstein.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. So the riddle is, how many Ocean County workers does it take to put up a traffic light between West Commodore and Diamond? And the answer is 0, because it looks like it's not going to happen until my kids put me in a nursing home. What's going on? Why does it take so long? It's one traffic light.
My answer to your riddle, Carlos, is at first, it looks like Mr. Bressi might have some information.
Mr. Martin has
Yes.
a point. I mean, that was approved around 2006 or 7. At
You
one
kidding?
point, Angelo Stallone was on the dais at that time. We've asked the county several times when it was going to be put in, and we've gotten no place.
So it was
And I've
approved.
talked to the county engineer, and all I get is, we'll look into it.
So it was approved for the next stage last year. If you don't mind to call me tomorrow and remind me, I will call the engineer again, the new engineer, who's
Yeah, I
like
know,
probably
I've
3
been-
engineers after Mr. Bressi first
Right.
spoke to the
I
first
know,
one.
because I've been, it's
Yeah.
been come up, and I've been hearing
Yeah.
it's on it. It's happening.
Call me tomorrow, Carlos, if you don't mind.
No. So obviously, I just wanted to bring that out. One thing just that was mentioned about the new position for recreation, parks and recreation. I think Ms. Cohen.
It's a proposed idea and a proposed budget that we're middle negotiating over.
Right. So I would just ask when that comes up for vote and stuff, to give us a lot of information around that. So my first instinct is, I don't want to, we don't want more bureaucracy, a new position, spending money on that. So, I'm open, obviously, for suggestions. I think the township is. But, explain to us why you really, the right answer to fix the problem is a new position. That's all I would ask when time comes, right? Similar to what we did with the safety director, right? If I remember back, one of the issues that came up was, well, we've had this position before. What's different now, right? We don't want the, Einstein's definition of insanity, right? Well, I think I know the answer to that now, and that is the person occupying the position is different. And so I think everything they're doing is great. So anyway, I guess sidetracked. Sorry. All right, so that's number 3. And then I'll just leave it at that. Number 4, I'll just leave it this way.
You
okay?
have 40 seconds. You got to use it.
I know. So I'm going to use that 40 seconds. Open Space Trust Fund. It's called the Open Space Trust Fund. It's not called the Open Space and Other Municipal Uses Trust Fund. Please look into that. I know we're trying. I want to get that updated code. Anyway, that's all I got to say.
We actually brought it for you.
Yeah.
23 seconds. I didn't change the page.
Actually,
Oh,
the public question that was voted on by the voters is, should the Jackson Township open space tax be reestablished at the rate of 3 cents per hundred, and such open space funds be utilized for the acquisition, development, and maintenance of lands for recreation and conservation purposes, acquisition for farmland preservation purposes, historic preservation, historic property, structures, facilities. That vote passed 57% to 43%.
Okay.
In 2020, I actually went back and got the record. So
Okay.
that is the law of the land in Jackson. That's what the voters of Jackson Township decided. And the township has spent a good bit of money on maintenance. I don't know how much of it comes from the open space fund. But if you want those facilities to be updated, you would have to pay from your tax funds anyway. So
Totally
it's the same
fair.
taxpayer, it's the same wallet.
Yes.
But some of the open space funds are used for open space purposes, including maintenance and preservation.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, totally
Okay.
fair. My point now is that
Yep.
very last sentence, other municipal uses.
That's not what I said.
No, I know you didn't say it, but
Yeah.
it's on there. That wasn't amended. It's still there.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I'm going to email it to you so you have it. I will. Hi.
Lisa Zayak, Jackson, New Jersey. I just have a question regarding Pitney. I remember when that was built. I had friends that lived behind it on Stacy Court. I had friends that lived on Pitney. I just want to make the point that, number one, that area was never a traffic issue, never. I mean, once in a while you had a problem pulling out, but for the most part, it was quiet, residential. It was a great place, no more. And I would like to know if that house on the corner, did they get a variance? And I know that's not you guys. Can you tell me how I would find out if they got a variance?
Contact Jeff Papora, our zoning officer.
What officer?
Jeff Papora, our zoning officer.
Okay, because, so you would have no information on that?
No, ma'am. Not
My
this board.
other issue is grant money for road improvements and all that over there. Is how would we find out exactly where that grant money is coming from? Because,
We just said state and federal grants.
right, which is still my tax dollars. And why are my tax dollars going towards improvements for a religious organization?
Oh, no,
Why?
no. These are public roads. The money goes to public roads only.
I'm
cannot
sorry,
possibly-
I understand, but I don't agree.
You don't think they're public roads?
They are, but they
Okay.
wouldn't need these improvements if it weren't for the other. So, no, they wouldn't.
So if,
So.
Ma'am, I don't
Ma'am, that's
appreciate
not
that
true.
kind of talk.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, it's an issue.
it's so-
It's like every time we turn around, it's money being spent that maybe shouldn't
It's
be.
being spent on roads because you know what?
People
The
live here.
children are going to be going to the schools over there. We have
Yeah.
our little kids that are going from 9 and 12
Yeah.
grade are going to be going through that high traffic area. So yes, it is
Okay.
important for all the residents of Jackson.
So,
So I hope we can keep it to all the residents of Jackson because we all matter.
okay, but then there are so many other areas of the town that need improvements as well.
And we have our engineer. We look at it all the time. We have
Okay.
meetings every month.
We have someone from
So
60 acres.
speaking of
who-
which, because I live on Diamond, I agree
We
they
have
need a
residents-
light there. at the end
You-
of Diamond and West Commodore.
And we just had that conversation.
Yeah, I know. I'm
We're waiting
saying
on the
I
county.
agree.
That's a county road. This is a municipal road. This is our road. Do you know that we have 42? All of our main roads are county roads, so we have to wait on the county.
I do know. I do
Okay,
know.
so when we have township roads, we look into them. We just went
If
over
you-
Manhattan. We went over Tilford. We went over Robbins
We
Estates.
talked about London Drive last
London
week.
Dri- I mean,
Yeah.
we went into. We're
I
doing
mean,
all areas of town.
I've been here
We just
40
paved
years. I've
Anderson
never
Road. He
seen
just
this
said we
town
just
like
finished in the
this.
last 45
Never.
days.
I've been here 40 years. How did we allow this crap to happen in our town? I'm sorry, the
Growth?
overbuilding, the congestion, the warehouses, all
Because
of
we're
this.
10 years behind. We should have had water and sewer coming so that everything isn't on water and
So
sewer.
why? So we could have high density building then?
No, so that we don't have septics and wells all over.
But bring water and it creates
You have
approval
for
high
radables. Look at
density
County Line
buildings,
Road.
which we don't
You've
do.
been here. You have a minute. You've been here. I've been here just as long. Okay, so I drive down County Line Road since I've been a kid. There's no radables there. There's nothing to do.
Right.
If I want to go and I want to watch a football game and I want to go and with my friends, I have to leave our town.
You have to leave the town.
But you're agreeing with
Yeah,
me.
I do,
But if we had things that we could build and we can get radables, it saves our taxes.
But that's not what's going to be built. So
What-
it's
what do you
going to
mean?
bring
I'm not sure what you mean by
sewers in.
that.
I
You're
know.
gonna
I just got
get-
an email that Alta, and I shop there. I love it. I have to go to Howell to go to Alta. Do you know what? In September, they're opening up one in Jackson.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
All
great
right.
news.
Well, okay.
Okay, so
That is, okay, wonderful. But I'm
Thank
just,
you.
my point is my point. I just want to know the grant money for road improvements. I don't want it I want it going for legit road improvements and not,
we just said Rova Farms. We're doing that.
No.
The township would not receive the money if we do not establish they are public roads that are
So
owned by the township.
is there going to be something published at the end where we can see exactly where the money
Absolutely,
came from?
we vote
for
on it.
which
It's on every
project?
agenda. We just went over 8 of them. They're all on the agenda. If you grab in the back, ma'am,
Okay.
there's a packet back
And
there.
it'll say for, say, Pitney, where
Yeah,
exactly
absolutely.
the money's
Yes,
coming
it'll
from?
say Tilford. It'll say
Okay.
Robbins Estates. It'll be very clear. We're very transparent.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine. I
All right.
just,
Thank you.
just questions that I have. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let's make a quick comment. So just for the public's clarity and for the council's clarity, so every year, the township does put out a capital road program that's on the order of $1.5 million. Last year's appropriation is that project is currently out to bid, the 2024 capital road program. We will be taking bids next Wednesday. If the price is coming good, there's some alternate bids that potentially could be awarded. So, the premise that the township is not spending money throughout the township is not accurate. There is money being spent throughout the township, and it's not dedicated to one neighborhood. It's spread out throughout, there's a system, and, we work with DPW
Process
to
and
make sure the money
procedures.
is being allocated. and work-
If I could just
I
ask,
actually wouldn't
Council,
say-
we just did Anderson Road,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yeah.
what part of town? That's not near Pitney, right?
No, it's on
Not
the
near-
other side.
it's not
over
near the
by
Brookwoods,
outlets.
right?
It's actually by, it goes
Right.
to, what is it?
We
Venture Crossing.
We just repaved. It's not near the
Yes.
Brookwoods and
Correct.
Pitney Lane. Okay.
Correct. Thank you. And I actually believe Mr. Wall, our previous BA, has his claim to fame in his list of, in the last 5 years, he's done the most road improvement of any other BA until, some tough shoes to fill. Sir, please.
Joe Raschuti of Jackson. I still have my list from 2 weeks ago. Cassville Deli electric bill. Did you find out what that was?
Yes, we did, and I don't have it on me, but we did find out it was something with a light or something like that that the township pays. I did find out. I did get it.
'Cause we got billed again on the next list of bills for another $59. and
It's
change.
township. It's something with the. Can you email me and I'll just copy that email and forward it to you?
Okay.
Thank you, because I did find out.
The camera on County Line Road that was installed by somebody, and it's not Jackson, it's not Ocean County Sheriff, it's not the state police. I don't know who put it up. Well, when I take it down, they can come see me and claim it, and then we'll know. That's about the only way we're gonna know who put it up. Because the picture that shows the individual on the ladder, you can't get a close-up and find out.
If it's against an ordinance, I can send it to code enforcement and have them look into it.
Well, it's on a public utility pole.
Okay.
So I don't think JCPL allows that either, unless
Okay.
it's a government camera.
I'll send an email to code enforcement tomorrow.
Okay. Now that the good weather is here, on Bennett Mills, you got Bennett Mills Pond up there, and you got a Purple Heart Trail over here. Kids are fishing. That's great. I love to see kids out there fishing. Can we get recreation or somebody to pay the fish and game fishery, stock these ponds, and put a little bit bigger fish so they're not catching just little perch or sunfish? Put some bigger fish out there.
I'll bring it to the recreation committee when we have our first meeting. We just got appointed tonight, so
Okay.
I'll ask them.
But
And
for-
you're just asking to stock the lake, right? Catch and release?
Yeah.
Catch and release.
Or,
Yeah, I think that's great. Oh,
make it
catch
more-
and keep? Or
Make
catch
it more
and release?
interesting for them to catch a bigger fish.
Okay.
Or even tag one and make it a prize, $100. You'll see more kids out there. It's nice to see kids fishing instead of
I know.
on
I
a
used to go with
computer.
my dad in Lakewood. Where is it? Over by Ocean County Park? We used to go every year. I forget what it is, but okay. Next.
And a couple of months back, one of the residents asked about the ARUs, if they were insured or not. And you said you would check into that. This was like 2.5 months ago, 3 months.
I don't think they're insured. I did meet in regards to that,
Okay,
but
if it falls down across the sidewalk and the kid's on a bicycle,
they do need permits to install them.
but are they insured? Because if a kid gets decapitated by that wire riding a bicycle and it falls down or got damaged, who's going to be responsible? Jackson?
Whoever put it up, whoever took the permit.
Well, if they don't have insurance, what are they going to do?
They're still
If
gonna
they're
get
not
sued.
insured, we need to make sure they are insured, so if something happens,
The township gets sued all the time. Anything the township issues a permit for, if something happens, we're going to get sued. But liability rests with the person who takes the permit.
okay? And then that second hospital ambulance that's on East Veterans Highway that's parked right next to the road.
Yeah.
Like I said last time, it comes back hot, that engine's
It's not
hot.
Hatala. It's not Hatala.
It says Hatzalah Schnaflos or something, I don't know.
I think Hatala Snefashos. It's a different organization.
All right, but still, when it comes back from a call, because I've seen it gone out before, but he's only parked a foot from the edge of the roadway, but coming back, he's parking on leaves. That engine is hot. He's going to start a forest fire there. You know, it's dangerous. The other one by the old schoolhouse is parked on asphalt. There's no safety issue. But this is in the woods. And the fire starts up, you know, it's on
I'll
them.
also forward that to code enforcement and ask them to look into it.
Okay, yeah, and one other thing with code enforcement, there was a very big problem. I was at the zoning board meeting last week. There was an application for a temporary tent for a shul, asking to get permission to have it. To my surprise, it's been there for 2 years already. Air conditioning, electric. They went and got permits outside of Jackson because their attorney, Miss I'll sue you Jennings, if she don't get her way. Oh no, I opened up her notebook. They got permits. This has been going on for 2 years, and now they're coming before the zoning board. Oh, forgive me, but we've been operating, but we now want to get it approved.
Well, we always want people to be compliant, but code enforcement, yeah, should have picked that up in the last 2 years.
I'm sure they did something, or they're turning a blind eye, but who is allowing this? And then the one I told you before on North County Line Road,
Yep.
it's still operating. Board it up and tell them it's illegal.
I'll send it to code enforcement. Thank you, sir.
I'll be here next year. I'll have the same excuse.
2 weeks. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
No. Yeah. Gentlemen.
I just want to make sure that when you see something, say something. Report that camera
To us.
to code enforcement. Let us handle it. Do not take that camera down.
He was kidding.
Okay.
He
We
comes
hope.
a lot.
We hope.
We hope. He was kidding. Thank you, sir. Hi.
Mr. Altrest, 25 Pitney Lane. I'm just here to say thank you very much for, as a father of 6 children, for caring about the safety of our children. And 25 Pitney Lane is basically smack in the middle of the road of Pitney. So our police officers generally hang out in front of my house, and my kids have gotten to know them. So I would like to thank the police officers as well for trying to keep us safe. So
Thank you, sir.
very much.
We appreciate that.
Jim Slack here, Jackson. I'm going to change it to a whole new topic that's not been talked about by anybody yet. And that is our budget. Here we are, the end of June. You've now pushed the budget off again. And on August 1st, you're going to be asking the taxpayers to make their third quarterly payment for 2025 without having a budget in place. That is absolutely unacceptable. You're going to finish this budget, and guess what you're going to have to start the very next day? It's the budget for next year. We had to have done better. You can't now come and say, we need to go to the state. This is June. You should have seen all these problems occurring with a lot sooner than you did now. And if that was the problem, we should have been to the state a long time ago. This is absolutely unfair to the residents of Jackson. You put through an ordinance today raising the cap to 3.5%, okay, for next year, for the 2025 budget. Now, granted, you may not use it and you'll put it into next year's budget, but you still are asking the residents to pay an additional 1% over the cap, but you're not showing us why we need it. You said last meeting, we will have the budget introduced at the next meeting. We still don't have it. How can we look and determine whether we're actually getting our true money's worth? It's absolutely absurd that we're not there, and it's the end of June, because you're not going to approve the budget at a minimum until the first meeting in August now. And that first meeting in August is after August 1st, which is when our next tax payments are due. So you have to stop asking your residents to pay for taxes for a budget that you're not even willing to show them. You talk about transparency. This is the most non-transparent piece that you guys are doing right now, and it's actually the most important piece to the residents of Jackson. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Itzi Shanik, 1550 Lane from Jackson. My family's been here for 50 years in Ocean County, and I think our primary goal is that all our children should be safe, our family should be safe. My family is military, law enforcement for many years, and I just want to thank you for allowing us to have safety in our block. We've been trying to put these safety things for Pitney Lane, and I just want to thank you from all our block.
Thank you, sir.
Seeing no one else come forward, make a motion to close public comment.
Motion.
I have a discussion there.
Oh,
We'll close public comment first. Or-
good.
You want to close public comment?
Yeah, we need a second.
Yeah, let's
All in
close.
favor?
We need a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. No.
Council, I do need a motion to authorize the township to settle a matter in accordance with our discussions in executive session in the Burke versus Jackson Township matter. I would need a motion.
Motion.
I'll second it.
Yes.
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 Motion to close.
Motion to close.
Motion.
We're done.
Second.
Meeting adjourned.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Have a good night.